What up? How's everybody doing this beautiful rainy afternoon in Savannah, Georgia? Uh, I'm just gonna get straight to it. I like to think of myself as a spokesperson in this industry of vaping, at least in the Savannah area. I'm not like the industry guy that knows everybody in the industry. I'm just the community guy that knows everybody in the community and that everyone in the community knows. And I feel I have this obligation to kind of speak my voice when it comes to situations like what's been going on with the vape industry. So I figured what better place to do it than right here on YouTube. I'm probably foolishly optimistic about everything. And what I mean by that is, judging by what a lot of folks, both in the community, just normal customers, people also in the industry, big names in the industry, they think that the world is ending as far as vaping goes. What I mean by foolishly optimistic, to me seems smart, but to others may seem foolish. So I'm optimistic. I think that we're going to be fine. I have my own testimony. For those of you that know me, know that I believe in God, and I believe that God is above all. I believe he is overpowerful compared to anybody else on this planet. And I believe in my story. Now, y'all might know who I am and know me and know bits and pieces, but I'm gonna explain a couple of things about myself to kind of try to ease some of you guys' minds. Maybe, I don't know. I just feel like I'm supposed to be sharing this with you guys, so I'm sharing it. So, before I started vaping, I was a screw up. Like the biggest of the screw ups. I messed up all the time. I don't know how I even managed to get married and have a kid, and what great blessings those were for me in the first couple of years of that marriage, first couple of years of my first daughter's life. I was nothing, man. I wasn't a good dad. I'm not going to go too deep into my story and delve into the specifics, but just know that I was way off the wrong side of the road, way off track. My wife, Lindsay, shout out to her. I love you, baby. She was very patient. Cadence didn't know, she didn't know right from left, right from wrong. She was a baby. So I felt like I could get away with a lot of things that I really had no business trying to get away with. Point blank, I had a double life. I had my life at home, and then I had my life in the street. Now, I've never done anything like cheat on my wife. I don't want to get that reputation going around or anything like that. But she had every right to leave me for the things that I had done. I was heavy into drugs. I was heavy into alcoholism. And I lived that secondary life in the streets based off of the fact that I couldn't live that life at home with her. And I resented her for it, even because she was ready to grow up. She was ready to mature. She was ready to be a mom and a wife. And I was nowhere near ready to be a dad and a husband. So I got deep into that life, and deeper and deeper and deeper, because I was running further and further away from my responsibilities and what I was supposed to do. So let's cut the story short a little bit. And I had to go to rehab. When I went to rehab, I was under every impression that my wife was leaving me and that I wasn't going to be able to be the responsible father for my daughter that I knew I could be. And I don't know if y'all know a whole lot about rehab, but when you go into a real rehab, they don't let you use phones. They don't let you write letters. I had no way of communicating with her. I just knew that I was about to have to go somewhere for at least 30 days to get my mind right and to get sober And when I walk through the doors, I'm saying my goodbyes. You know, I love you. I love you, baby. I'm sorry. I really messed up. I hope that you can forgive me, and I hope we can build forward from here. I promise I'm going to be different. And as I'm walking in, you know, for other reasons too, not just the drugs and the alcohol, but for other reasons atop, she was just kind of like, listen, she was like, we're done. Like, I'm not dealing with this. You know, and she had given me chances on chances on chances, and I had done a lot of wrong. So I don't blame her for feeling that way, especially in that moment. But regardless of the fact, I walk into rehab without any kind of way of knowing what she's thinking. No way for me to fight for her. I had to fight for my life. You know, I had to fight for my responsibilities as a man, and I had to fight for my faith. So I got in there, and the only way, there's one way to kind of communicate, and that is literally, this is the only way. If Lindsay called to check on me, then they could stick a stick-it note on my door that said, Lindsay called. They can't tell me the basis of the conversation. They can't tell me the questions that she asked, anything like that. So let me just tell you how amazing my wife is. Fast forward about 7 days when I needed it the most, I got that stick-it note on the door that said, Lindsay called. And that was enough for me to keep fighting for my life, because I was on the edge of destruction. Like, I wanted to die. I didn't want to live without her. And I definitely didn't want to see my daughter raised by some other man who was better at being a man than me. So I prayed, and I prayed, and I prayed. And I don't mean to turn this YouTube video into like my testimony for Christ, but I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and I was redeemed in that moment. I was redeemed during my time there. But I had a lot of fighting to do still, you know, because trust me, where God is, there's spiritual warfare. So Satan is just alive on this planet as God is. Understand that too, with this story, these are the views and the points of Nelson Hill. This is not the points and the views of the Vape Loft, okay? This is just me. This is just my story. This is just me talking to you guys. So with that, you know, I came home. My long story short, my wife agrees to stay with me on some conditions. You know, she's like, listen, she knew what was best for me. She wanted me to go learn a trade, go to school, learn something and finish something, because all I'd ever done in my life is start something and quit something. And I was a boy, and I was the age of a grown man, you know, 23, 24 years old. So I got home and, you know, I started fighting. And that's where the fight really begins, because you don't have those people around you that are also getting sober with you as much anymore. It's you in this ugly world. So, you know, I'm a hobbyist, right? Like, once I get on something, I'm obsessive. So it was very, very dangerous for me to be around people in my past. I dropped dead to them. When I got home, what's some of the best advice that I've ever gotten in my life is when I was in rehab, I had a counselor, and she told me, she said, when you get home, you need to make sure that you don't associate with those people that you used to associate with. And I said, you're crazy. Those are my best friends. I die for them. They die for me. And she said, well, if that's how you feel, then okay, but I'm going to challenge you with something. She said, when you get home, when you get home, delete your phone book. Keep your phone number, but delete your phone book. I said, okay, that's strange. I would think that I would need to change my number too. And she said, no, because you're the type of person that's going to need this point proven to them. She said, when you get home, delete your phone book. Don't call anybody for anything. You've been gone for 30 days. You know, people aren't going to be, you know, trying to hit you up. They haven't seen you in so long. You know, they probably know what's going on. So go home, delete your phone book. The only person that you need by your side right now is or people you need on your side right now is your family. And she said God as well. I mean, if you know anything about the 12 steps and everything, you have to believe in a higher being before you can really get sober, according to the 12-step program. So I got home and I deleted my phone book, and I said, I'm gonna show this lady. Watch this. They're gonna call me. When I tell you guys that 4 years went by before I got one phone call, 4 years went by before I got one phone call for people that I swore would have died for me. You really learn who your friends are in situations like that, and turned out at the time I didn't have any, which was cool. I had my wife, and that's all I ever, at that point in time, that's all I wanted. That's all I needed. And, you know, it built an amazing foundation for our relationship. The fact that I was able to cut out every distraction in my life and focus on me and her and my daughter. But, you know, time's going by and I'm still smoking cigarettes. This is about to switch the narrative. I'm still smoking cigarettes, and, you know, Lindsay's like, listen, you got to quit, or you got to start changing your shirt and washing your hands every time you come inside before you hold this baby, because you stink and it's bad for her. And Lindsay's a health nut and a clean freak, and it just wasn't meshing. And I said, well, shoot, I'm clean right now. I might as well just go ahead and quit smoking too. So I went by a gas station on Wilmington Island, the BP over there by Wendy's on your way to Tybee. And I got my first vape. It was a zigzag vape pen, and I got the little juices with it. And I was like, well, I'm going to try to at least not smoke as much, you know, because it's cold outside for one. And second of all, it's I want to be able to do something inside and still hang out with my family, because I smoke crazy amounts of cigarettes. So I'd be outside 24/7 pretty much, changing like 9 shirts a day, you know, maybe more. But I got it, and within 12 hours of having it, I ripped up my last pack of cigarettes and threw them in the garbage. It's like I'm never smoking again. Now, feel me on this, because I know you might not believe in God, you might not believe in whatever. I don't really care. I'm just telling you my story, and this is a true story. So from that point, I'm like, man, these are really cool. I like them. They're electronic. And this is just a little pen. You know what I mean? Nothing nice at all. I didn't know that there was anything nicer than that. And me and Lindsay are going to eat at Moe's with her sister and her sister's husband, my brother-in-law. Shout out to Micah and Amy if y'all are watching this. And we pull up on the way to Moe's, and I see this store on Abercorn. It's called Vapors. I was like, Vapors, like these? And Lindsay was like, yeah, you've never seen that? I was like, no, I had no idea. I was like, let me stop up there. And I just walk into the door and introduce myself. At the time, a dude named Anthony was working there. He's a good friend of mine now. But, you know, back then we didn't know each other, of course. So I walk in. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Nelson. I just started using one of these, man. What do you think about this? And he was like, I mean, those are kind of, those are garbage. You know what I mean? In so many words. I could tell that's what he was trying to say, but he was definitely more polite than that. And I was like, okay, well, how much do I got to spend to get one of these that's good? Because I'm struggling a little bit. You know, I still want to smoke a cigarette every time I get done eating and this and that. And he was like, look, man, if you bring $100 in here, I'll get you a super nice setup. And I was like, $100, I got you. So I didn't have a job or anything. I was still getting sober and still trying to live life in this world and figure out my emotions and all this stuff. So I was definitely not prepared to be at work. But my lovely wife let me borrow that $100 because she was proud of me for, you know, getting clean and getting off a cigarette. So I went in there and I bought it. I thought it was the illest thing ever. It was a Nautilus pen with a Nautilus tank, but you could adjust it on the bottom. You could turn that bad boy all the way up to 4.8 volts, and it blew clouds. So I was like, all right, cool. I got this, and I was taking videos of myself. I thought it was the coolest thing on the planet, I'm telling y'all. And I was, at that point, cigarettes and me were done. That relationship was over. Like I had no more urges to smoke because I found the right setup for me. Now we can talk about that another time. If you smoke and you've tried vaping, it didn't work for you. It's not that it didn't work for you. You just haven't had the right setup for you yet. I can help you with that. Shameless plug. Vape Loft on Durin or Abercorn. But anyway, this is towards the end of the year. The beginning of the next year is coming around, and I'm going to enroll in school. I'm going to go be a welder. So I go to, the name of the school was Ogeechee Tech. I went there. It was in Statesboro. And so the thing about Statesboro is I grew up there, and a lot of my friends that I used to do a lot of drugs with and a lot of drinking with lived there. My wife had to stay in Savannah. My daughter had to stay in Savannah while I was out there going to school, okay? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm kind of scared. It's been a few months since I've been clean. I'm feeling confident, but I'm also kind of scared because what do I do when I'm here? The house I was staying at was my mom's. My mom's, my stepdad's, my brothers and sisters, they all lived there, but they do this camp thing, and they were gone at camp, for a lot of that time. And even when they weren't and they were home, I wasn't. For the most part, I was either at school or trying to figure out something to do because I get bored real easily. So watch how God works. I'm in the parking lot at Walmart, and I lock my keys in my truck with my phone locked in my truck too. My wife is expecting me to be in Savannah in about 30 minutes. I messed up. I was running late, but I wasn't doing anything wrong. However, my word wasn't really bond yet, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting I'm outside the parking lot at this Walmart. I think I went in to get a phone charger, and I come back out. My truck is cranked. I don't know why I was leaving it running, but I was leaving it running, and I locked my keys in there. And I had the little Bluetooth radio, right? So the whole time that I'm standing outside my truck, my wife is calling. Beep, 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 beep. Over and over and over again. And I'm like, man, she's gonna kill me. So under normal circumstances, I would have just kind of fiddled around with my door and figured out a way to get into it. But for the sake of my wife continuing to trust me, I had to figure out something fast. So I ran inside Walmart. I'm asking the managers, who of course don't give two craps about whether my truck is locked or not. I'm like, yo, please, I don't have a phone. I don't have anything. My wife's going to be worried sick. Please help me get into my truck. I don't have no money for a locksmith either, I don't have a job, and don't nobody in my family trust me with money when I'm going alone to Statesboro, right? So let's just face that fact. And so, this dude named Phoenix, I come to find out later who his name was, but he's in line, and he's like, you need some help getting into your truck, buddy? I was like, yes, I do, man. And he was like, don't worry, my brother is a locksmith. And by that, I thought Phoenix meant, don't worry, bro, I'm going to call my brother real quick, and he's going to hook you up for the free, But that's not what he meant. What he meant was, I don't know shit about getting into cars either, so I'm just going to help you make an idiot out of yourself. But together, we got into my truck, right? Finally, got into my truck, called my wife. Everything was cool. She wasn't even tripping at all. I just thought that she was going to be tripping. I was like, yo, I'm so sorry. I locked my keys in the truck. I've been here for 45 minutes trying to get out of my truck. But needless to say, Phoenix, I shouldn't say his name yet, but this dude who's helping me get into my truck, I see him start vaping. He's got 4 of these things in his book bag, super nerded out. And I'm like, I vape too. And he was like, oh, what you got? And I was like, I got this, man. It's like top of the line, you know. And mind you, I'm in Statesboro. I heard it was top of the line from Anthony in Savannah, you know. And he's like, well, dude, you should come check out our shop. I was like, oh, you work at a vape shop? He was like, yeah. I was like, man, I got a vape shop in Savannah that I go to. That's where I'm from. It's called Vapors. He was like, I know that place. I go there too sometimes. I was like, that's awesome. Anyway, he let me hit his vapes. And I was like, woo! Because it was like going from slurping a milkshake through a coffee straw to like wide open air in my lungs. Man, I fell in love. I was like, I got to figure out how to get one of them. How much are those? He was like $500. And I was like, anything cheaper than that that'll still do that? He was like, not really. And I was like, oh man, that sucks. But regardless, right? I ended up going up to their shop the next time I was in town, and I met my good friend Ferris, who played a vital role in me being sober. So I met Ferris in that shop, and a bunch of other people that I grew to fall in love with, you know, people that I consider family. We might not have talked in a long time. George, Phoenix, Brandon. I haven't talked to you guys in forever, but, you know, if y'all ever needed anything, I hope y'all know I would be here for you, because y'all were there for me in my time of need. So this whole time that I'm going to school out there, I start swinging through Foghouse in Statesboro, and I'm hanging out with these guys from like open to close. They never made me feel out of place. They never made me feel less than at home. And that was the coolest thing I'd ever dealt with, because I had no friends except for my boy Ramey. But he was very, very busy. I had no time to hang out with him. He had no time to hang out with me. So I started hanging out at this shop all the time. I met new friends. I considered them family. They treated me well. Like, they knew my situation about rehab. They knew my situation about my family, why I was there, what I was going to school for. And Ferris, just being the beautiful, amazing soul that he is, he kept me vaping when I couldn't afford it. So if I needed juice or something like that, he'd be like, you know what, man, don't worry about it. I got you. Pay for it another time. And I was like, cool, that is what's up. And I did. I paid my dues, you know, when the time came. I was very respectful about that, because he didn't have to do that for me. And sometimes he would even just give it to me, like, yo, take it, you know. Him and Diana. I can't leave Diana out of this, because she was an amazing soul to me too. And every time they would come back from these little expos and trips that they go on, they give me tons of free juice. But that mixed in with the Vapors place down the road, that is kind of how I got my foot in this industry. So we had this community page called Savannah Vapor Community here in Savannah. Statesboro had their own. And I was pretty well known in both. I would get on here, or not on YouTube, I would get on Facebook and do reviews of the new products that were coming out. And, you know, I would get one and be like, yo, I like this. Because honestly, I was just trying to get some stuff for free. And I thought that maybe like Aspire from China would recognize me and my 25 views on Facebook and give me some free stuff. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did it, you know, and I was nerding out hard, because it wasn't just about the vaping. It wasn't just about getting off of cigarettes. It was about this foundation of family around me that helped me stay sober and helped me become the man, the father, and the husband that I am today. Now, I am the type of person that's going to give God all credit, because God set this situation up, but he used them as tools in my life to help me be a successful person. I don't have to tell you the rest of the story. I'm standing in a vape shop talking to you right now, and I'm not welding, and I did finish school. You know, it makes me kind of emotional, and it gets me upset, because a lot of people in this world, I know that I'm 25 minutes into this video right now, and a lot of y'all probably cut it off already. But if you're still watching this and you are a non-believer in what this vape industry is about, please understand that it's not just me. The depth of what this industry means to people is far more than you could ever imagine in your life. Yes, there are kids in high school vaping. Take it away from them. You know what I used to do in high school? I used to smoke weed in the bathrooms. I used to smoke cigarettes at the toilet playing hot potato with people that might have AIDS. I don't know. Kids are going to be kids, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. They don't care about these flavors. You take those flavors away, you're only hurting our industry that helps so many people, just like myself, just like my story. And that's the problem that nobody seems to recognize. The kids are using Juuls. Okay? They don't care about vaping. They don't care about this industry. They don't love it like I do. They don't love it like we do. These kids are vaping so they can get high off of nicotine. It's the same reason that we smoked when we were 13, 14. Some of y'all were 10, 11, 12 when y'all started smoking, and y'all are talking about we need to ban flavors. Get out my face, bro. I'm sick of this, man. I don't mean to get upset. I don't mean to get angry. If you are one of those people, I hope it's because you're poorly educated on what this is and what it does for people. If you think that it's worse for you than cigarettes with all the proof, not opinions, but proof in your face showing you the difference, I don't know what else to say to you, bro or ma'am. I'm aggravated, but I'm optimistic, and I'm going to tell you why I'm optimistic. This is back to the original point, so now you know my story. God took me through that journey to get me to where I am today, who I am today. My confidence is on 1,000, and my confidence was built through this industry. My family and my friends, the way I raised my kids, the way I love my wife, I learned in this industry. My faith in God, shout out to my brother Wes. He works at Vapors in the Savannah Mall. I don't mean to give out so many plugs to other vape shops, but I'm not on that my vape shop or nothing. You know, y'all know me better than that. Shout out to my brother Wes. My relationship with Christ grew with this industry because of God pairing me with someone like him. And I know it was the same way for him as well. We still talk about it to this day. That's my brother. I love him. I'll die for him. And he will die for me. And if I went to rehab right now, which won't happen, but if I did and I came home, Wes would have called me within 10 minutes of me being home. Yo, I heard you're home. You all right? I love you, brother. God is good. So do I think that our industry is going to evaporate? No. No, because God intentionally put me in this industry. And that's just my belief. You don't have to believe in God to believe in great stories like this. This story did happen. I do not believe that the past 6 years of my life have been for nothing. And even if the industry did go somewhere, it still wouldn't be for nothing. But I'm growing, and I'm taking care of my family through this business, through this industry, through this company. And I've shouted out everybody else, so I have to shout out V and Dylan. They've given me a platform to become one of the greatest that's ever done it. My customers, my community of Savannah, Georgia, y'all love me. I love y'all. Y'all know that. I'll do anything for any one of you guys. We've learned with each other, rode with each other. Life has been throwing us curveballs since 6 years ago when we all started in this thing together. And we've won. And we're going to keep winning, and we're going to keep winning. This morning I was being optimistic in a group chat, and I'm not going to say any names, but someone in that group chat said, listen, you can't feel optimistic essentially. The minute you start saying like, oh, it's all good, they're going to come and they're going to kill us. And I was like, man, being optimistic is based on faith. It doesn't mean that I'm just going to lay down and let the big bad guys and the big bad wolf come and blow my house down. No, my optimism is with my faith. I believe in God. I believe in you. I believe in myself. And I believe that with all three of us wrapped up in this, doing our best to take care of what we love and what we hold so close to our hearts, I don't think it's possible. Call me foolish. Call me foolishly optimistic, like I said. But that's my sense of that's my sense. That's what I believe. I believe that. I have faith in it because I have faith in God. I have faith in myself, and I have faith in you. That doesn't mean that we just need to sit by idly while they come and blow our house down, but that is what I think is going to happen. And I think we're not blow our house down. I do think that we're going to be okay, and I think we're going to be okay because we're standing united, and God has our backs. He has my back. At the end of the day, all this right here is, or all it was intended to be, was a way to help people quit smoking cigarettes, because we've watched too many people die of lung cancer. And if you haven't seen somebody die of lung cancer that you hold close to you, you're not allowed to have an opinion right now. That's rough. And if an adult has the option and the opportunity to say, you know what, if I can maybe have a chance of not dying like that, if I do this instead, then let them do it. I don't want to come across as insensitive because I have children. I have little brothers and sisters too, and I don't want them to vape. It's an addiction within itself. Like, nicotine is addictive. I don't want you guys vaping, okay? And I don't mean to come across as insensitive, but they don't matter as much, man. They don't matter as much as the people that are trying to save their own lives, trying to live a better lifestyle. And if we let that go on, and more people keep using vape products over tobacco, think of the lives that could be saved. Y'all know, since I started this video, I want y'all to calculate this. About 55 people die every minute from cigarettes. I want y'all to calculate how many people died with the making of this video alone. And ain't nobody died from vaping, not since it started. Not vaping nicotine. And see, that's another thing, man. People got to quit saying like, oh, these people went to the hospital from vaping. No. Stop doing that. You're changing the narrative, and you don't even realize it. If I was in the street right now, right there, and I was smoking crack and I died from it, nobody would say he died from smoking. No, they wouldn't say that, would they? They would say he was using crack and it killed him. Just because you can smoke multiple things doesn't mean that smoking is the equivalent. You get what I'm saying? So with vaping, don't be talking about people are going to the hospital from vaping when they're using illegal drugs, and that's why they're in the hospital. Has nothing to do with the vape industry, has nothing to do with flavors, it has nothing to do with nicotine. Y'all keep running with this narrative, y'all are gonna look foolish and stupid, because at the end of the day, Americans are smart, man. We don't trust the media anyway. I'm not even sure why people are listening to the media on this topic, other than the fact that there's a lot of cigarette smokers out there that really are just looking for an excuse to not change their lives because they want to keep smoking. And that's cool, I feel you, I've been there. But it's not worse for you than cigarettes, man. There's been studies that prove it to be 95% better for you than cigarettes. On a scale of 1 to 100 bodily harm, 100 being the worst, 0 being the least, cigarette stands at 100 being the worst, vaping stands at 5. I don't even know why I have to have this conversation and why I have this talk. But I have it every day, you know? And I just wanted to share my story and share my sentiment with you guys, because I know that a lot of you guys have been waiting on me to speak out and say something. So here it is. I believe that we're going to be okay, but we have to stand together. We have to unite. We have to stay loud and proud. I'm proud that I don't smoke cigarettes no more. If I walk into a hospital and they say, do you smoke? I'm going to say no. And I'm going to leave it at that, because you can't prove that I vape. Can you? No, because you get what I'm saying? So I'm just going to leave it at that. No, I don't smoke. It feels good too. And there was only one way I could accomplish such a great task, is not smoking cigarettes. I thought that my death was going to be me lying in a bed with lung cancer like my grandpa. And it was so hard to watch. And I just knew that my daughters were going to have to watch me like that one day, you know? Now I don't. And I go to the gym every morning. And I run and do cardio, or vice versa, run or do cardio for about 45 minutes every day. It usually equates to about 3 miles of me just the whole time. I don't have no problems breathing. And I vape for a living. So if I don't have no problems breathing, neither do you. Neither do they. But, you know, if you're out smoking illegal, illicit THC cartridges that you bought from Billy Bob on the corner of MLK and 92nd, I don't know what that's going to do to you. I don't know what's in it. I do know what's in this. 4 ingredients. I do know what's in cigarettes. Starts with 4,000 chemicals, then you light it on fire and it turns into 10,000 chemicals. And you inhale all of that. And it sticks to your lungs because there's tar in it. Yikes. I don't think that there's even a scale to be measured here. So, you know, thank you for listening to me ramble for 40 minutes. A lot of y'all probably turned this off way before the end, but I just, and a lot of y'all have already heard my story, so y'all know this story. But I wanted to share my story and my sentiment and why I believe we're going to be okay. And like I said, don't let this video motivate you to just roll over and not do anything. Get on them lines. Call your senators. Call your governors. Call your mayor. Call the White House. Tweet President Trump. Never stop. Don't put this down. This is important. And we probably have a pretty long and drawn-out fight ahead of us. And we need to be on top of that. But I do think we're going to be okay in the long run. That's just my thoughts. I'm really a nobody. I'm a big name here in town. Other than that, I mean, if you vape and you live in Savannah, you more than likely know me. If outside of Savannah and maybe some of Statesboro, you ain't gonna know who I am because I'm not really out there like that. But I love you guys, and I'm fighting for you guys. Please fight for me too. Please fight for my right to keep doing what I love with the people I love for the people I love. I just made that up. I'm pretty proud of myself for that one. That one felt good. So I hope y'all have a great afternoon, and I hope y'all have a great night and a great week. Thank you for watching. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, subscribe to our channel. I'm sorry I've been missing in action lately. It's just been it's been a lot of work that we've been doing, and I haven't really just thought to sit down and share my story with you guys on YouTube, you know, but here we are. So I love y'all. Be safe. If anybody needs anything, any information, wants to talk, wants to debate, whatever, I'm here for all of it. 912-508-1617. And it's Vape Loft forever and ever and ever, baby. Peace out.